episode, what was this, 13?
Yeah,
Episode
13.
13, series finale. It was actually called Finale.
Yeah.
A new world. And as I always say, ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the end of The Flash, a
The
9 year
Arrowverse.
journey. Yep. Well, we've reached the end of the Arrowverse. We've reached
Yeah.
the end of The Flash. Ladies and gentlemen, for the love of God, we have reached the end. And it's your boy Icon and Justin from ONG Imaginative Visions
Thank
with a
you.
final Flash review.
Whew.
Not a final Arrowverse review because damn it, I'm still counting Superman and Lois.
Yeah.
A final review for this particular episode of The Flash.
Yeah.
So, right out the gate, Justin, like, when did you start watching The Flash?
When it first debuted, I was there 9 years. I literally watched this with my family tonight because we ended it how we started it. And it's
Oh,
so funny
nice.
because we moved to Long Island where we're staying at 9 years ago. So when the Flash started
Yeah,
is when we moved here.
yeah.
So it has a special place for us. It's like this is like the first show we watched together as a family in our house, and we ended it here tonight in this house together. And I'll tell you, a lot of emotions. Like some of it's just like, man, it was good, but then we get into the nitty gritty. But for the
Mm,
most part, I think it ended well. Like the monologue and all that. I think the
yes.
monologue was ended very well. But I have some mixed feelings
Yeah.
about this one. But
Yeah.
this is like really is like the first show that I watched as a family with my family in this new house that we have. So it held a special place. So we had to end it right, like watch it together because we started it together.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
I wish I had that. When I watched The Flash, I started by myself. Like I was just, it was weird because when I started watching The Flash, I had literally just started watching. I had just caught up on Arrow because I started
Mm,
watching Arrow online. Like I wasn't watching it when it was airing live. And when I was watching it, when I started watching it, when I caught up and I
mm.
started watching it from season two, the very first episode that I saw was the Flash episode where Barry went to Star City for the first time. So that
Yeah.
was yeah. So so technically it kind of like the Flash kind of started with me too, but it no it yeah it no, it definitely had its emotional moments and it definitely had its questionable moments very
Yeah.
sweet at the end. But as always, this particular episode starts. It started where we left off. You know, Barry, he was trapped in the future, and then they never explained why he was just randomly like fluctuating through time.
No.
That actually never got explained because it's like, why would the negative speed force do that on purpose if he's trying to stop him? Or if it was like I thought someone was pulling the strings, and apparently, like that never happened.
I thought it was Blue doing it, but no, it was
Yeah,
just negative speed source just going, you're going here. Okay, now
yeah.
you're gonna go here. But
It wasn't even like Speed
why?
Force Nora,
Yeah,
like
it was like what was the end game here? Like
yeah,
I'm still trying to figure out the motivation of that. I was like,
like
I
like
didn't
even
explain that.
yeah, because even if Speed Force Nora would have came out and said, "Hey, the negative Speed Force is trying to destroy all of time and reality, and I've been moving you throughout different points of history trying to stop it," that was all they needed.
Yeah.
Like that was all the extra. But what is whatever? He ended up coming back to the present just in time for Iris to give birth to her baby. And I will say this: I'm not 100. Like I understand her role,
Yeah.
but I wasn't 100% happy with the role that Candace Patton had in the finale. And
Yeah.
even before the episode aired, I saw an article where it said the article said why Candace Patton isn't gonna watch the Flash finale. I didn't click on the article to read it, but I just read
Hmm.
that headline. And then now that I've watched the episode, I'm like, she's probably not gonna watch the thing because she was barely in
Yeah.
it. She
Like it was weird. It felt weird because like Iris has been such a central piece in the later seasons. And even the poll surprise, this is just like, oh, she poll surprise one.
yeah.
For what article though? Like,
Oh no, well they said that earlier. They said
okay,
for her Red Death, her
for the
Red
Red
Death.
Death, okay, but I'm just like, okay, she's the
We never
postal
saw the
prize winner.
award. We
It
never
just
saw her.
felt for me kind of rushed.
Mm,
Like it was just like I get it. They did 4 parts for a reason.
yeah.
I guess you have to watch all 4 parts to get the true finale to make it feel like it's fleshed out. But this one was just like, we gotta get to point A, we gotta get to C, but we gotta get to all right. So here's A, here's B, here's C. We gotta focus on the anything that like I sent you with the text. I was like, the way the villains were just easily taken care of. For me, it felt like there was no point to have them at that point because it was just like it could have just had Blue be like this dominant force,
Yeah.
and just like kind of take out everybody and just have this big finale with him versus Barry, them fighting out a bit, and then Barry appears to the Grinch where his heart grew 2 sizes bigger because Barry appealed to his heart.
To his good name. Well, with that, so when the episode starts, it does start with Eddie Thawne, and he
Yes.
apparently because in the last episode we saw the crystal where he was looking at all the old Flash villains through the crystal. So apparently the negative speed, well, he is the negative speed force now. He brought all of them. He pulled all of them from the moment that they were about to die on their respective seasons.
Yeah.
So it was like Savitar, which is oddly Barry Allen. It was Zoom. It was Zoom who gave Barry the worst ass whooping on the Flash in like in 9 years. Of course, good old Earbar Thought, and Godspeed, who still has the greatest speedster name of all time.
Yeah.
So so the villains are there, they're arguing with each other, and then like he said, then Eddie shows up and he's just like, "Oh, I'll give you the power, and we can stop the Flash." And then he switches into his costume and he calls himself Blue, which is I'm like, yeah, I could have came up with something a little better than that.
Could at least kept the first name of it.
It calls up Blue Lightning or something.
Like Cobalt Blue, that's his name. Like Blue. I was like, oh, okay.
It's just like Walter. There's like no oomph to that. But anyway, so he gets the bad guys together, and then there's some ballsy shit. Like he ran up on Iris like while she was giving birth. You know what I'm saying? Like he was
flowers at that.
Yeah, with flowers, he was just like, "Oh, that's my baby in there," and I was like, "Wow, dude." Like jealous much. And then we had to get the classic line before the series end, and at least it was Iris that for the final time she got to do the run Barry run. She told Barry to run. Barry ended up fighting Eddie out in the streets, and I thought that was a setup because I thought as soon as Eddie and Barry like ran out into the streets, I thought somebody else was going to come in the room and get ready and try to kill Iris.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, it's like the whole cast was out in the waiting room, so I guess like they wouldn't have got far. So they run around the city. Like they're meeting face to face, and then all of a sudden, magically, Team Flash, because you got to give a nod to Team Flash. You got to let everybody get their individual shine, before in the season finale. Allegra with her generic black costume because she said she didn't want a costume. I don't like, and see, the thing with Cecile, the costume that she had, Chuck made that in the future.
Yeah,
like he made that in the future. Like how's she wearing the what was the Virtue costume now?
Time travel, bro.
Yeah, who time travel? Oh, then
when did she time travel?
That's that. Yeah, just chalking up the more time travel. Nora shows up. She showed up for her own birth,
which is weird.
Yeah,
I'm glad they asked the question. Was like, is this messing up the timeline? I guess Oliver Queen was letting this shit slide. Like,
yeah, I thought he was gonna like once they said that Eddie was trying to destroy the time, but I thought Oliver was gonna come back.
Yeah,
because he said he was like, I can only come back when the timeline is being threatened. Like,
yeah, that's what I was like. You would think Oliver would be like, all right, I gotta come back. I'm gonna step in, or at least be like, pop up in this like 3-second camera or 10-second camera. Like, I'm gonna let Nora watch this. Yeah. I know this is against the rules, but I'm gonna let this one slide just to give it some continuity and make it make sense. Because this girl was literally holding her own self. I was like, so the timeline is just gonna let this slide right now? Like
her like helping herself fall asleep because it could have damn. I mean, I guess at the end of the day, like it's you, so you know what you like. So.
Yeah, but throughout the whole series, Barry always had to kind of avoid himself. Like, remember that? I think it was season. Was this no? It was the Cicada season when he went back and he was with Reverse Flash and he had to take out his other self so he couldn't see himself.
Yeah.
But here Nora's able to just hold herself as a baby.
But it's different when you're a grown adult that's perfectly aware. Like the baby don't even know who these people are yet. Like you know what I'm saying? Like
I guess we can let this one slide. This plot will slide.
Maybe like a week old. It's like she don't even know who her mama or her daddy is. So while Iris is out there going through contractions, they paired everybody off, and I thought the pairing was actually very interesting because for the love of God, they let Cecile fight Godspeed. She took him out. He made the clones of himself. She was able to get in his head. That was cool, like having the telepathy with her. I forgot that she could fly because when it was like, oh, it kind of reminded me of like Darkwing Duck, where it was like Fearsome Five assemble, Justice Ducks get over here. So, but she can fly. She took out Godspeed with the first one. Nora, they did the Savitar moment where Nora killed Iris. I mean, Savitar killed Iris. They did that with Nora, but I guess Nora learned from her mama's mistakes, or because obviously Barry had to tell her that story at some point.
Yeah, she phased out, so she didn't get nothing.
Phased out. And then she stuck the thing in Savitar's suit, which was his suit. It would have been cool if they actually had Barry come out of the suit with the messed up face.
Yeah, so I was hoping. I was just like, are they gonna show Pizza Face Barry or not? But
no Pizza Face Barry, unfortunately. But that's a win for Nora, so it shows that she's been paying attention. And then for the love of and I understand that it's supposed to be Eddie versus Flash, like versus Barry. I understand that, but I actually wanted Barry and Thawne. Yeah, I wanted Barry and Thawne, but he ended up going back to Star Labs because he ain't stupid because he saw everybody else getting their ass beat, so he was just like, yo, I'm gonna go to the one person who ain't got no power. He went over there and cooked Chester, and I was like, that was gangster, and then he cooked him twice.
Yeah,
it wasn't even like he tried. It wasn't like a one-time thing. He was just like, no, we're gonna make sure you don't get up. And then I'm like, with Allegra, she showed up mad late. Like everybody was paired off. Like Allegra showed up dumb late to the party, and then she ended up being paired up with the person who magically kills her boyfriend. Chester goes down for the count. She didn't do any special magic trick to try to like bring him back. No CPR, no resuscitation. But, she lit up one last time. She did her ultra violent thing. She
the power of love.
Yeah, it's the power of love. She
literally.
She took out the Reverse Flash. We never saw the Reverse Flash again. Which was sad because we never aside from like the standoff, we never got a final moment with like him and Barry.
Yeah, with the Wells Barry. Yeah, that was my disappointment. This is what I was saying. Like I felt like the villains were just misused here because especially Thawne. Especially Thawne. Like you said, it should have been Thawne, this Harrison Wells Thawne, and Barry for the final showdown one more last time. Yes, we got it. Yes, fans, I know we got it with the brilliant part one. Brilliant part one when he had to go back. Or was that part two? I can't remember.
No, that was
it was part one?
Yeah, that was part one. With the
OG,
OG Thawne.
Yeah, with the OG Thawne. That was brilliant. But I felt like the Harrison Wells Reverse Flash has been such an intricate part of this entire series for him to be taken out by Allegra of all people. Like y'all couldn't get Caitlin or at least Caitlin's avatar. You couldn't get Caitlin or something.
It would have been more poetic with Caitlin only because of the Wells Caitlin Cisco dynamic to have him talk to her.
Allegra?
The Zoom thing was good because it at least gave the police it gave like Kramer and Captain Singh, and gave them a chance to actually be in the episode. Because I keep forgetting Zoom bust that ass on the police. Because even then, because when Singh said, he was like, oh, just like Keon said, it's time for us to get our revenge. I was like, that's not how cops are supposed to talk. But then when you remember what Zoom did to the police, I was like, I kind of don't. I mean, Kramer wasn't there for that, but say la vie. And and then he got taken out by two people. Like he had to get Keon and what was the boy name? Killblane Mark. Yeah. So he got a 2-on-1, and and it was nice that even with Chester, it was nice that they did a callback to when he first came on the show, because when he had the black hole thing in him, they did say that residual black hole energy still exists within him, and nothing ever came out of that.
Yeah, until now.
Until now, like he never developed any superpower. It was just like they're just like, you're just gonna have black hole energy in your system, and then 5 years later,
at the most convenient time.
Yeah, the most convenient time, it saved his ass.
It saved his ass, and I was cheering my ass when he was about to die. I texted you, I was like, yes, they did it. They finally did it. And then the power of love came, and then they revealed all this shit.
So does that mean all these weeks, when Chester and Allegra were out there making sweet love to each other, every single time they were about to have a kid, it just get that energy just disappeared into the black hole.
he literally definition of shooting blanks.
Yeah, because I always thought because in the last episode when we went to the future, I was just like, wow, so Chester and Allegra look the same. They don't have children, like now we know why. So,
Yeah.
so what happened now? So then, like I said, so Zoom was taken out,
Yeah.
and then everybody else was taken out. Everybody's down for the count. Chester came back to life, like you said, the power of love brought them back, and then the two of them kissed way too long.
Thank you. I'm glad you also called that out. I'm literally. I remember I texted you. I was like, "Yo, don't they got stuff to do?" Like, yo, this dude they have this long ass makeout session. I'm like, yo, this is the last episode. I don't need to see these dudes, this dude and his girl kissing for 2 minutes. Long ass kissing scene. And I'm like, yo, Flash, we got 20 minutes
like
left.
chop, right? Like let's and I like the two of them together. But when the camera rotated and then paused, I was kind of like looking at my watch, like, yo, we still here?
Like, yo, we got 20 minutes left. Like, y'all spending too much time on these side characters. Like, come on. It's the Flash. Last episode, you worry about Chester's relationship right now?
Chester P.
Chester P. Like, you seriously? Like, this is what you want to put for your finale? Like, no, we got guys. I know y'all miss Olicity, but we got Chester and Allegra here for that last Arrowverse romance. Go ahead.
They don't even have a ship name. They're the one Arrowverse couple that doesn't have a ship name.
Facts. Like, I mean, they even have what do they when they ship Barry and Caitlin? What do they call the
Snowberry?
Snowberry, yes.
Snowberry. So it's like, so in the comment section, like give Chester and Allegra like a ship name.
Allegra Peas.
Yeah, Allegra P. What he's a black like violent hole, like ultra hole. But anyway, and to touch on your point with the villains about how because I see your point where you said that you feel like they did the villains dirty, but with that being said, and if we're strictly not so much talking about how they were used, if we're strictly talking about how they were defeated by individual members of Team Flash, it does make sense to me in the sense of, and this is what everybody has to remember, all the villains that Eddie pulled, those are old season villains.
Yeah.
So that's like season 3 Savitar, that's season 1. Well, like this was them. That remember when all these guys rose to power, Barry was still new and didn't know what the hell he was doing. Fast forward, if we're taking the old villains and putting them in season 9, Team Flash is actually stronger than these people now.
Yeah.
Because they've evolved over, over the 9-year period. So, because even then, because remember when Barry had got powered up by the Speed Force last season, and he was like super powerful and going to like Tahiti in 2 seconds and coming back and saving babies and everything, and then he ended up fighting Harrison Wells, and remember when he fought Reverse Flash and whooped his ass. He was like, "How are you this fast?"
Yeah,
because that was an old Wells fighting a new Barry. That's why he got his ass beat. So. That's how I explained it, especially with Cecile, because she's apparently tapping into the future and the past and not aging a day.
For a lot of the Flash fans, she was a mixed bag. I love the actress. She's a great actress. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. I just think that she got way too much time once Cisco left. And I mean, obviously they need to fill a void, but she got a lot of screen time, even in this finale. Like her importance went so high up for a character that's not really as important to the Flash lore. It was just like,
because
it's a lot of Cecile.
Yeah, her role increased when Jesse L. Martin took a back seat.
Yeah,
when he had I believe like he had a surgery or something.
Yeah,
had help it. When he stepped away from the show, she was basically the female Joe.
Yeah.
She got brought in to be the female, but because they had already given her superpowers, they were like, well, shit, we need her to be the voice of reason, but now she actually has superpowers, so we got to do something with that too, which is how she got plugged into the show. I mean, she didn't upset. I mean, I didn't have a problem with her. Like there were a lot of things about her writing sometimes would make me laugh because it just didn't make sense, but I didn't hate her to the point where Felicity got on my nerves.
Yeah,
because it got to the point where Felicity, I'm like, yo, she forgot whose show this is. You know what I'm saying? Like it says Arrow woman, like this ain't you. But yeah, I mean, Cecile never actually took over the show. So I was that's why I was like, I I didn't hate her in that regard, but I do agree that there were a lot of things about her power, about the evolution of, like, her powers always seemed convenient.
Yeah,
You
it
know
was
what I'm saying?
very
Like,
OP at times too. It was just
yeah,
like anytime, like, oh, let's just go to Cecile.
yeah,
Cecile can know. Cecile would know the answers, and it's like, I mean, Barry got to kind of figure shit out on his own
yeah.
too. Like,
Just
I
put her in the
mean,
thinker's chair, and then
yeah,
Chester was like, "Hey, you can project your mind into the future because of science." You know what I'm saying? And I just like, so we just going with that, like, that's what
it felt like you said, very convenience at times with her, and even sometimes even with this finale, like Chester, like it made sense though the way they did with Chester was just like, hey, we had this nice callback with the black hole that
yeah,
made sense to do that.
yeah,
But it was just there was just like for me, it just like the pacing kind of felt rushed because once they got to which is the next scene is when Barry, after they took out the villains, Caitlin's character, or we'll say that the
Keon,
Avatar, was
Keon.
able to get him into the negative Speed Force. We didn't see her bring him physically
Yeah,
into the Speed
yeah.
Force. Next scene, he's in there, and they had this heart to heart with Eddie instead of violence. We didn't get a big. We got more of a appeal to the villain, who
Yeah.
really isn't a villain. So it made sense. Like he wasn't.
And it's also typical Flash. The speech that he gave Keon when he flat out cursed her out, and he was
Yeah.
like, "Woman, you don't know what I've been through in 9 years, the blood, sweat, and motherfucking tears." Like I was shocked. Like I was shocked in the whole time he's screaming in her face. I'm just like, "Oh my." But he's just like 9 years of this shit. But then when she puts him in the negative speed, but he ain't yelling at Eddie. Like cursed out Keon, and then you want to talk nice to Eddie. But I will say this, and I
Eddie
text
was
that
his
to you.
boy. So
Yeah, I honestly thought that, and I'm talking about 9 years.
yeah,
I'm talking about 9 years. This was actually the weakest Hope speech that he's ever given.
yeah, I
He
agree.
was just like he didn't even try to use like logic to support what he was asking for. He was just like, "Come on, man, let's work together." Okay. Like he never said why they need to work together. He was just like, "Come on, Eddie, let's work together." Like at least be like, you were a cop once. You're a good man. You. It's I don't know. Like I wanted more from the speech.
Yeah,
Like
I 100% agree with you. It was literally like, let's make peace. Yeah,
okay.
I was
He's
like,
like, "You're
what?
right." He's like, "You're right, Barry. Peace is the." Because the thing is, what makes it bad. And what makes it bad is like when Barry comes in and he's just like, "Oh, you're a good man. Let's make peace and work together." What makes it bad for Eddie in that moment to be like, "Okay, Barry," he was giving you that same speech for 3 episodes.
Yes,
Why all of a sudden now? You know what I'm saying?
because we
Like,
had a montage of flashbacks that was just like,
which is a montage of Iris.
yes, it
Like,
was just like, you're right. Oh yeah, by the way, tell her I'm happy for her. I was
yeah.
like, you literally try to destroy the universe with this woman, and then that's it. Like,
It's
yo,
like
I'm
that
happy
all
for you.
yeah, all is forgiven. Tell Iris I said my bad.
I was like, yo, I lost my shit at that scene. I was just like, yo, yeah. I was like, they didn't just. I felt like Booker T.
Yeah,
They ain't just do that.
yeah.
Tell
So
me they just didn't do that.
he's like, "I know I tried to destroy the universe and destroy your child and everything in it, but tell Iris I said I'm sorry."
And
And
I'm
I'm
also happy for you. Like, all because my man said we can make peace, but then you was just like, then he's like, there's a couple of things that we probably won't agree on because we're on opposite sides.
which was his way of
Wait, what?
that was his way of saying, "Fine, I'll make peace. I ain't no bitch." I just want to remind you, like, I ain't no sucker. You know what I'm saying? We ain't gonna agree all the time, damn it. And sometimes I'm gonna be like, "Nah."
But when you die, I get Iris. So
Yeah, right.
he's just gonna probably buy his time. Like, I'll
But
go get Iris when
but
he's
what's he
dead.
but what's he gonna do now? Is he just gonna live in the negative speed force for the rest of his life? Is he gonna step out into the real world? Because he's an avatar, you know what I'm saying? He's
Yes.
not he's not the actual speed force, so he can step out into the
Yeah,
world.
he's like the Flash because the Flash is the positive one. He's the negative one.
Yeah. And I
He
thought I
can go
thought
live
that
a life.
yeah, but see, I thought that was gonna happen. Like the fact that once him and Barry shook hands and then Barry disappeared, we never saw Eddie again.
Nah.
And I thought we'd at least find out like Nora would be like, oh, in the future, Eddie and his wife. No, I thought she was gonna say something like, "Oh, you and mom argue with Eddie and his wife all the time," and I was like, "Oh, so he has, so he got married." Like they never gave us a
Nothing.
conclusion to what Eddie was gonna do. It's like they said, so he's just gonna sit in the house in the West household, talking about why did you bring me back if I can't have. He's gonna be looking down on Iris and Barry's happiness. I mean, like one day we won't agree, Flash. Like,
Yeah,
one
that's all
day.
he's gonna be doing for eternity. Like there was only this is temporary peace. It won't be agreeing with you all the time. But tell Iris I'm happy.
He's up there like shaking his fist.
Like, tell Iris I'm happy.
one of these days, one of these days, she'll be mad at you, Barry. And then that's when I zoom on. That's when I zoom in.
You're gonna be like this, waiting, buying my time. Like that. I'm glad we both agree on that. That had to be the worst, weakest
Yeah.
part of this finale. Where I was just like, this is how we're gonna end this big conflict with a handshake and talk of peace. Just
Yeah.
like,
But it wasn't.
it's like,
But
yo,
wasn't.
it really felt like how boys fight, and then at the end, like we still boy. Like me and you have a little scuffle.
Yeah,
But then
yeah.
I mean, we still boys. It ain't nothing
Yeah.
like, yo, we,
Like,
we, we got into a little, all right, we got a little emotion,
yeah.
That's how it felt like me was watching.
Yeah.
Like two dudes beef real quick, squashed it at the end. I'm just like,
like they just got to a fight over some girl. They duked it out, and then Eddie was like, "Well, fucking, I ain't like that bitch anyway."
yeah,
It was like, yeah, yeah. I just wish there was a little bit more heart in that damn speech, because you only get
something.
one. Like and it's bad. Like it's bad enough Iris's flashbacks. Iris had 2 or 3 montage flashbacks in the episode.
Yeah.
Her flashback imagery was in the episode more than she was.
Yeah.
We saw more of old Iris clips than we actually saw current
Of
current
Candace,
Iris
yeah.
clips. And then so then after the handshake of peace, he goes back to the hospital, and then Iris gives birth. Like she creates life, and then Nora comes out. Like when they said welcome into the world, Nora, the nurses weren't like, damn, y'all named the baby already. But
Yeah.
And another missed opportunity. I will say this: when she gave birth to Nora and everybody was in the waiting room. Now maybe
Mhm.
the actor who was playing Bart, maybe he had like other commitments and he couldn't make the show. Okay,
Yeah.
fine. And if that turns out to be the case, I'm not gonna say anything about that. It does suck to not have him not only in the finale but not in the episode either. I mean, we
Especially if
didn't.
Nora was there.
Yeah, especially if Nora was there. We didn't get Wally either. Like Wally wasn't there either, but at least he was in the Arrow episode. My personal opinion: the show should have ended when they were all at the party celebrating Iris winning the Pulitzer. The
Yeah.
show should have ended with Bart showing up, and then when Bart shows up and he's just like, "Hey, I wouldn't miss my own sister's, like first birthday party, whatever." So he's there, Nora's there, and then 2 twins that's like 10 or 11 come into the room, and then like, who the hell are they? And then we find out they're the Tornado Twins because Barry and Iris have 4 kids. And I said this before because when in season 3, when Barry came out of the Speed Force, and then he was like all crazy and he was talking that gibberish and he was writing like weird shit on the wall. They, the things like, "Oh, this house is bitching," and like all this other
Yeah.
stuff. Every single quote that he did ended up making an appearance in the show, except for when he said, "We're gonna need more diapers."
Yeah.
There was a line where he said, "We're gonna need more diapers," and in my mind, I'm like, the only reason why you would say this because obviously you're having more children. And
Yep.
then I thought I keep calling them the Terror Twins.
Tornado. Tornado.
I thought the Tornado Twins were gonna come into the room, and then when they realized those are their 2 twin kids, I thought Barry's gonna be like, "Shit, we're gonna need more diapers."
Yeah.
And then that would have been a nice and nice ending to that.
I was kind of hoping that her name wasn't gonna be Nora. I was hoping they would have did something like Nora would have been the middle name and it would have been Dawn Nora Allen, because that's the name of his actual daughter in the comics. And I was hoping that because it's Dawn and Dawn, those are the Tornado Twins.
Mm-hmm.
So I was hoping they would have been like, okay, Nora is like, we use this as the middle name, we just call her Nora, and they'll be like Dawn Nora Allen. I'm like, okay, cool. But nothing really like progress with that, and then I mean, we ended it with kind of like with a cookout at the
Yeah.
end of this. They had the R&B music and everything.
Yeah, well, it is a black household at the
It
end of
really
it.
was.
Yeah, so that, I mean, so we got that, like I said, she popped the baby out. Jesse L. Martin only agreed to come back if, only if he got to sing. So he got his little singing thing for the last time, singing to the baby. We're back at the West Allen household. Ralph
Yeah,
wasn't there, and I'm gonna be honest, it would have been cool if Ralph would have showed up in that
yeah, me
moment,
too.
because like honestly, I was over the whole, like I was like that whole thing that happened to him. I was over that shit real quick, and I
Yeah,
felt he should
it's
have came back.
past.
Yeah, I felt he should have came back last season.
The series, the finale, and I think we could both agree on this one. The finale needed the OG cast. I
Yeah,
think it
yeah.
it, it really would have hold something. And this is nothing against the new actors like Allegra, Chester P, Cecile, that other guy. I forgot his name. I keep forgetting the dude's
Mark,
name. The one that was like chemistry with Caitlin. That guy.
Mark, yeah. So
Yeah.
Mark, Chillblade,
I mean, if there was I love what they don't get me wrong. I love what they did with the previous 4 episodes, 3 episodes of New World by bringing Wally back, Oliver back. I think all those appearances should have held off for this one to end it with the entire Arrowverse people there, Legends of Tomorrow, because this is the end of the Arrowverse. So
yeah.
it would have been nice to see at least the second to last image of all the people. Like hell, even Hawk Girl, like all of them, like
And
bring
Legend.
everybody back for that last moment.
I mean, and aside from Black Lightning, because he popped up in the last 2 seasons, but
Yeah,
the whole season with all the callbacks, because we got a Batwoman callback,
yeah,
Oliver came back. I mean, we didn't get a Supergirl callback, but we did get Dreamer, who was a Supergirl cast member.
yeah.
We didn't get anybody from Legends,
Nah,
because the funny thing is, in the very last episode of Legends of Tomorrow, the show ends with all of them getting arrested with Booster Gold.
yeah.
So
I
I mean, are
guess
we?
they in prison.
Yeah, as I'm saying, like, are we to believe they're still in jail? Like
I
the
guess
legends,
so.
the legends and Booster Gold all got arrested. So I'm like, are we not gonna break them out of prison? Like what's that? They just left out. I mean, I could have at least brought Katie Lotz like into the,
That's
like
what I'm
no
saying.
like no Adam, like like Ray Palmer didn't show up, like not
No,
even a Felicity cameo.
not even
Like,
fire. The original, not Ronnie. Like,
yeah, like no Ronnie, but we did get Caitlyn back because Kian decided that she needs to leave Team Flash to ascend to the ultimate being of beingness, and their explanation made perfect sense, because in order for her to transcend into the being that she's supposed to be spread out throughout the nature of Mother Earth, she's basically Gaia from Captain Planet.
pretty much.
She didn't need a physical body for that. So
Yeah,
when she removed her essence from that physical form, we ended up getting Caitlyn back.
yeah.
And I thought that she was gonna go back to being able to change into Killer Frost.
Nope.
I thought that, but we didn't.
This is season one, Caitlin.
Yeah, we basically got season 1 Caitlyn. Like Killer Frost is gone, and and I'm fine with that. It was nice to actually have like actual Caitlyn back, and I was never a fan of them splitting her and Killer Frost together anyway.
That was the
Because
worst thing they ever done.
because having both of them at the same time, it was just weird because they had to keep coming up with stupid reasons for the two of them not to be in the same place at the same time. And
Yeah,
I'm like, yeah, should have. It's like they had a meta one season who was able to transfer. He would touch you and then he would send your power to somebody else. That was how you got Caitlyn how you got Killer Frost out of Caitlyn.
yeah,
You could have had like somebody's body who was like brain dead or something, someone who was a vegetable, and have that guy touch Caitlyn, touch the corpse by mistake, and then Killer Frost goes into that person's body. I was
yeah.
like, that's how you separate the two, but they decided to literally split them apart, But even if that made sense too, because when you get hit with the Mirror Master thing, it creates a copy. So yes, it does make sense that Killer Frost will be the copy, but now it's an awkward situation of having the same person playing two different people. So the fact that we did away with Killer Frost and now it's just Caitlyn,
Again, yeah.
I was fine with that. I mean, Cisco could have at least appeared via like
Skype,
yeah, he could have showed up on Skype or something.
but
Because they did that with Alex. When matter of fact, Alex did pop up on the Flash because she popped up via Skype.
yeah,
She came in, she was somewhere else, somewhere she was in National City, and then they could have did that, but
yeah.
no, no.
I guess he either his schedule conflict was really that bad, or he just really didn't want to come back.
Yep, him and Bart. But speaking of you saying the OG cast, when Iris had gave birth and everybody was celebrating the birth and Keon was trying to like dip out of the hospital, we did get the ultimate cameo, OG Wells. Like,
Yeah.
oh, the original Harrison Wells, the one who, when all the Wells is killed themselves and every Wells died, their essence basically brought back the original, who was the one Wells we never saw up until that point.
Yeah.
And he just has the ability to like travel through time, and he's
For reasons.
yeah, for reasons, and he's out there like remarrying his wife and shit, like, and everything. He came back and he told Keon, he was like, "I'm here for you, so you can ascend." And my whole thing is like, how do you know that? You know, like
Mhm.
what power does Wells have to the point where he knows what she's supposed to be? How far in the future did you go, my dude?
Seriously.
You
Like
know, like how?
it's at the point like with certain reasons and certain things in this finale, I'm just like my whole plot whole feeling was time travel.
Yeah,
That's all it is. It's like the speed. I'm doing like Simpsons. You know how South Park like Simpsons did it. I'm doing Speed Force did it.
yeah,
That's all. That's
yeah,
my excuse. Oh, the Speed Force did it, or time travel.
yeah, time travel. And then
That's it.
he was at the party. OG Wells was at the party, the Nora's birthday party. Nora was at the party cuddling herself, which was kind of weird.
Yeah.
But and then we also got Jay Garrick and Joan Garrick.
Yeah.
And I'll say this again because before Crisis, you know, we saw that Jay Garrick was on Earth 3.
Yeah.
We met Joan, you know, who was his assistant. She was his lab assistant, and then two of them got married. But they were
Mm-hmm.
both on Earth 3. When Oliver rebooted the universe and brought everybody together and he merged all the Earths together, he put Jay Garrick and Joan on Earth Prime because they live in what's that damn town? The town that they keep using.
With Cold City.
Yeah, Coal City. So
Yeah.
the two of them, because they were living in Coal City, so when Oliver merged the universe
Green
together,
Lantern City.
yeah, he brought Jay Garrick and Joan to Earth Prime, and they lived in Coal City. So Jay Garrick and Joan is here on Earth Prime. But the thing about that always bothered me. I was just like, I understand why Oliver would bring Jay Garrick and Joan on Earth Prime, but the problem is the entire world knows that Barry Allen's parents died.
Mm-hmm.
Why are they sit and they three towns over like it goes like so you try to tell me ever since Crisis not one person on the planet was just like, hey, aren't you Barry Allen's father? Like, you know, like they, you know, like you went to jail for killing your wife, isn't that your wife? Like nobody questioned why these two people who look exactly like his parents
Oliver probably had everybody's memory wiped before he finished rebirthing the universe. That's the only explanation I can give you.
Martian Manhunter style.
Exactly. Spectre did it.
That was the Spectre did it.
Yes.
That always bothered me. I was like, why is no one questioning this? You know what I'm saying? Like, why is no one questioning? Like, they just over there chill. Like, hey, Jay Garrick.
CW writers wasn't thinking that shit through.
and then to have them at the party, like you said, it's awkward as shit because you're like, wow, like his parents are there.
Yeah, because my aunt was just like, because she missed a couple of episodes, yeah. Like, so she was just like, no one's gonna react. Like, they just like no one's like reacting to like the fact that these people who look just like his parents is just chilling at this party, and no one's gonna make the comment like, yeah, it's a little awkward that y'all. Like, we know you're from another Earth, but it's still a little awkward that y'all here right now.
I mean, but everybody at the party was in the loop. But the funny thing is, they're no longer on a different Earth. They're on Earth Prime.
Yeah.
So that's why when Nora was just like, am I messing up the timeline by being here? And Chess was like, girl, please. Like, we got Jay Garrick 3 towns. we got Barry Daddy like 3 towns over. Like, you ain't doing that. You ain't doing nothing.
Oliver said it's okay, clearly. Yeah, so
it's the Arrowverse.
Like Oliver's literally watching this shit happen. Because we remember in the Oliver episode, he can see everything.
Yeah.
So literally Oliver was just like, whatever. Like, let me go check on my kids.
Yeah, that won't change anything. Like, he's like Santa Claus. Like, he knows when you're sleeping. He knows
he's like, man, that ain't nothing. That ain't really breaking the cosmic order.
Yeah,
I'm gonna let this slide.
Jay Garrick, he's dead anyway. Yeah, and then after that, you know, good old Joe West for the final time. He gave the family barbecue speech, and then he asked Cecile to marry him, and I swear to God, I thought they were already married.
Me too.
When he got down on one knee, I was like, are they not married
I was
already?
like, wait, I thought they were. I
Like,
was
y'all got
like, maybe
kids.
this is so
Like,
much
y'all
how
got
much been
kids and shit.
paying attention to Joe and Cecile's storyline. I was
Like,
like, wait, I thought they were married this entire time. Almost they had the baby.
yeah, we never saw baby Jenna.
Nah.
Like we never saw, like, hell, we could have at least got a thing where when Nora came from the future, she brought a grown Jenna with her. Like, and then we find out that she has like telekinesis like her mama or something. I'm like, we could have at least got that. Like we
Be
didn't even
like,
get
hey,
that.
this is Auntie. You know.
Yeah, like that was left on the table. This random magical kid, that Joe and Cecile has, that just gets mentioned in name only. That yeah, and then they said obviously she said yes, and then everybody clapped, and then in the final scene, Iris is just still sitting there giving birth, like raising kids and shit. They did do a cool thing because when this show first starts and Barry gives the what I'm about to tell you, you got to believe
Yeah.
me, impossible. So it's like they're like, oh, he was saying that to his daughter in the finale. So that
Yeah.
was cute. That
And he
was
was like,
cute. And
stop
then
crying. Like any parent.
yeah,
He's like, first, what I'm about to say, first, you gotta stop crying. And I thought that was good. Like for someone who has a newborn nephew,
yeah.
I was just like, yes,
Now
this,
but
this.
but Grant Gustin's good at that because I even remember the Elseworlds crossover
Yeah.
when we got to episode 2, which was the Arrow part of the crossover. It starts with Grant Gustin doing the narration. He's like, "My name is Oliver Queen," and they had him doing like all the Arrow shit. I thought that was good. And then Damien Dark did it on Legends. But yeah, so then after that, I said she said yes, and then Barry and Iris together as a family. This is why the episode is called The New World. They come up with the idea because when Speed Force Nora perished, she
Mm,
literally said before she perished that the entire Speed Force exists within you and your family. So she's
mm-hmm,
basically trying to say the West Allen family is the Speed Force now.
mm-hmm,
And Barry used that Speed Force spark, with the okay from his wife, to birth a new generation. I mean, it's hard to call it generation because one of them was like mad old, but to birth a new generation of speedsters.
yeah.
But one of them was like Max Mercury, and I was like, that name I know.
Yeah.
Um,
Max Mercury, Jessica
yeah,
Chambers,
yeah,
and I think it was Aretha.
yeah. It was nice to see a black girl get some speed. So that was nice to see. And the girl, the redhead. First of all, it was nice to see
Yeah, that was Aretha.
yeah, it was nice to see like a redhead actually not get retconned into a black person. Like
Yes.
we actually kept a redhead, so there is a speedster with red hair. But the girl who the redhead, she was the girl who Bart kissed when her and Nora came back to
Yeah.
the thing. So I was like, so it's actually dope, that she gets to be a speedster because she was a cool girl and she knew about like quantum entanglements and like all this other weird crap. I mean, the Max Mercury guy, he looked like he gonna be a villain. So like it almost looked like he like Eddie gonna get his hands on that one. It's gonna be a season where they gotta fight Max Mercury, but the
Yo, he
girls,
look old though. I'm not
yeah, he
gonna
looked bad.
lie.
That's how I was like, he's clearly a villain.
He look fitty.
Yeah. It's like, what are you gonna do? Team up with Jay Garrick? Like what is your role here? I mean, the black girl, she seems like this generation's
My
version of
bad. It was Lady Flash. Not it was Ivana, he said. It was Lady Flash.
it was
The redhead was Lady Flash.
Lady Flash. Okay,
Ivana, yeah.
so that's bad.
It was Ivana, Max Mercury, and Jessica Chambers. Because remember, they name dropped Jessica Chambers during the season when the cicada, when Nora and Barry went to talk to Dawn, and he was just like, "Let me see." He was like, "Oh, let me guess, Dawn." Oh no, Jessica. No, he said Jesse Quick, Jessica Chambers, and then that's when he was like, Barry was like, "Don't matter who she is." And he was like, "Oh, he brought me your daughter." And that's when he
Yeah,
was like, "Oh, your name is Dawn, right?" And then that's when we
yeah,
got
that's something like he even said Dawn. So
yeah,
like to not get a Dawn or
yeah.
Don thing
So,
is like, yeah. But so with that being said, and obviously that's how then after Barry like gave birth to 3 new speedsters, and then he went back home to cuddle his wife and his family. And then, well, he was seeing the show starts the way it ended, the way it started with him running through the city in happiness and joy,
Mm-hmm.
while Eddie's looking there shaking his fist. That's how the episode ended. And for the love of God, for
With the
for the
dawn
final
going,
time.
damn you, Flash!
And as always, ladies and gentlemen, for the final, that's how the episode ended. And for the final time for the Flash, thank you for tuning in. So now, overall thoughts on what you thought.
I'm gonna do the series finale first. Mixed bag. Um, I'm gonna say it was a average season. It felt I felt after watching all four finales, I think the finale should have been part one when
Yes.
he went back to when it
Tell
was
himself not to
full,
say
when it
that.
was truly full circle, or it could have been with Oliver, could have been the season finale where because that speech was way better than the speech
Yeah.
that we got
Yeah.
tonight. In the time of this recording, when he told Barry, which was a callback for the pilot episode, he was like, saving your city like a guardian angel. That right there was
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, too much focus on Team Flash instead of the Flash and Blue's conflict here. Not enough Iris. I get it because she's giving birth to Nora, but we could have still had a plot like somebody is out there trying to prevent Nora from being born.
Yeah. Yeah.
One of the villains that came back should have went after Savitar. It should have made sense
Yeah.
for Savitar to
Yeah.
come back
Go after
and
Iris.
try to finish the job against Iris. I wish they kind of went with Grant Gustin's original ending that he pitched of him being the bolt of lightning that gives him his powers. Like Flash
Oh.
sacrifices himself to be the bolt of lightning to give the Flash his power. So it's like this time loop that comes into play.
Yeah. See, but then we would have
Um,
lost him.
but the new showrunner who took over wanted a happy ending, and this is the ending that we got. Um,
See, I would have even been fine with after they defeated all the villains,
yeah,
if the actual OG Thawne would have then popped up,
yeah.
and then he was just like, you know what? I'm gonna end this right now. I'm gonna go back in time and kill you before you ever have. And that's the moment where he goes and
Like
stops him. Yeah.
yeah, and went like stop that would have been perfect.
Mm,
But it just felt like I said, the pacing felt rushed. It's not, I don't put it up there with the like certain series finales where it's just like it's like the Titans series finale. Like Titans was short notice. So
yeah.
we got the ending that we got. This
Mhm.
one we knew they knew it was ending. So it was kind of like, why are we spending like a chunk of time on Allegra and Chester's relationship? The kissing scene was too long. Like I said, the villains I felt was misused. It was a mixed bag for me. I didn't hate it, but I expected better from
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like I said, I mean, for me, I thought it was nice. Even I mean, even Titans, like the thing with Titans had a very nice ending.
yeah,
Like having them all at the dinner table. Because the whole point of Titans was supposed to be Dick and Corey raising these kids.
yeah,
So with the show to end with the kids going out on their own, and I was like, see, that was really nice. The
yeah,
problem is for a series finale, the villain conflict aspect of it wasn't epic.
yeah,
But the ending I thought was very nice. I mean, I like the series finale of Arrow was the shit because first of all, everybody and their mama showed up for his funeral.
yeah,
What I'm saying? Like Carl was at his funeral, Barry's at his funeral, his own mama came back to life. Like, and that was the thing. Arrow brought back damn near every character. Like Tommy came back at the
yeah.
funeral. They literally had the entire Arrow cast from start to finish at this man's funeral.
And we had the Green Lantern tease, which was freaking perfect.
Yeah,
And then
yeah,
of course they
they had
dropped
the
the
Green
ball.
Lanterns
It was
here,
perfect. Like
yeah,
everything came together. Like even if they took that ending and saved that ending for this ending to really make it like a culmination of the arrow, I kind of honestly, I kind of wanted if we knew. I mean, this would have been for me. It would have been better if I knew this wasn't the end of the Arrowverse as we
yeah,
know it.
yeah, yeah,
I feel like it wasn't a well sent off for all the work that was put into
yeah,
this
for the show.
universe.
Sure.
Um, it should have been a more bigger send off and I know it's just a Flash show, but since this is a storybook ending, like you're watching all these shows, the Flash ends it,
Yeah,
and this is the ending we got. So it's kind of like kind of should have
it wasn't
incorporated some Arrowverse characters into this.
it wasn't epic enough.
No,
Like it would have see instead of not that I have a problem with Team Flash, but
no,
instead of having Team Flash, if the damn Justice League would have showed
yeah,
up to have that standoff, it would have been like if it was Black Lightning, Batwoman, Sarah, if Melissa Benoist would have came back,
mm-hmm.
like that would have been a little cooler, to
Yeah,
or at least have an episode where he goes into the future and he actually talks to these people,
yeah,
like in the future, like that.
something to give closure.
Yeah,
Because, like you said, there was no closure for the legends,
I
no
mean,
real closure for Lightning either. Like we didn't
yeah,
really,
not for I mean, Black Lightning came after his show got canceled. He came back, like
yeah, but it
he
wasn't
came back two
like,
seasons later. But
yeah, but
yeah,
it really kind of wasn't like. There's a lot of, there's still a lot of loose ends with the
yeah.
Arrowverse.
I mean, even with Batwoman, because although Batwoman did the Red Death saga, and it was nice to see Javisa Leslie come back to play Batwoman because her show got canceled way too early. Having her come back didn't answer questions for her show
Mm.
because there were questions on the table, like on Batwoman when Batwoman ended, and we never got those. It's like it's not even like she answered those questions when she was in Star Labs.
Yeah,
She didn't say anything about her and Sophie, about Luke and Mary, whether or not Bruce. Because remember, in Batwoman, they were just like, "Oh, Bruce Wayne is missing. Bruce Wayne is missing. Motherfucker never came back." You know what I'm saying? Like we never got that. We never got. And then it's like, and then to not even have Superman, like don't act like Superman's not in the next studio. Like they're still shooting Superman and Lois. You could have got Super. You could have at least got Superman.
you could have got something, and
Yeah.
I think that's where my disappointment lies because this is the end of the Arrowverse, and we didn't get. I feel like we didn't get a justice send off to the Arrowverse. Hell, if you even just did at the end of it for like the post credit scene, if y'all just did them all showing up
Yeah.
and just even just doing a bow or them showing up at the party,
Yeah. Or
like
them or calling Barry and they all show up like on a screen, like each
yeah,
one of them in like letterbox form. When it's talk about Barry, we got to meet at the hall for a meeting or something,
yeah,
and then you see him running through the city.
yeah. That would have been good. I mean, but we got what we got for the series finale. But as for the series, I mean, one of the best Arrowverse shows, hands down.
Yeah.
Overall. I put the I mean for me it's going to be Arrow, then the Flash. Superman and Lois, I consider it Arrowverse too. I'm sorry.
Yeah, yeah.
That dude
Arrow.
started in Supergirl.
Yep.
He is in the
Yep.
Arrowverse. I'm
Both of
sorry.
them, like both of them, him,
Yeah.
like him, Lois, freaking Diggles on the damn show.
Yeah,
Like
like
you're using Arrowverse characters. You're an Arrowverse show.
yeah, exactly. I mean, then Supergirl, then Batgirl. I mean, Batwoman. Then Legends. I mean, I'm not too huge on Legends. It was a hell of a show. I'm gonna miss it. I mean, like I said before on the other video, CW has nothing slated DC wise. So I don't know what the hell's gonna happen to that channel. So all we got is Superman and Lois, and there's rumors like the next season's gonna be their last season. So we don't know what's going to happen with DC as far as television goes. It looks like they're really making a push to make it. I mean, of course, we got the Penguin show coming up, but that's elsewhere. But it looks like they're going to be making a push to this new DCU. So only time going to tell.
Yeah, yeah. I will say this about the Arrowverse as a whole. All respect to the Avengers, but when you look at the Arrowverse as a whole, that's how you do a shared universe.
Yeah.
like that's the one thing about the Arrowverse as a whole that we never got, and that's the one thing that's gonna like irk me to this day. Of all those damn Ted Cord references, like
Mm-hmm.
all those Cord industry robberies,
Mm-hmm.
all that Ted Cord technology that gets stolen every year on every season on every Arrowverse show. There was always one robbery at Cord Industries,
Mm-hmm.
and we never saw Ted Cord Blue Beetle.
Nope.
That's the only regret like I have
And,
for the because
and
I got to the point where I was like, I got tired of hearing his name. I was like, can we rob someone else's? Someone else's
honestly,
robbery?
I got tired of hearing Coast City and not seeing one fucking Green Lantern. Not
Well, you got it on
one.
Stargirl.
I mean, but is she considered Arrowverse though?
she's considered Arrowverse, but she's considered Earth 2. So technically
Yeah,
she's Superman
but
Lois
but
Arrowverse.
I mean, like interacting with the Flash, Arrow.
Yeah, she didn't do all that.
There wasn't like really, and there was no Hal Jordan. There was Easter eggs of Hal Jordan. I
Hmm.
mean, it's the same thing with the Batman teases. Like
Yeah.
I mean, we got Kevin Conroy,
I mean, we got a
but
Bruce,
he
we
was
got a
never in
Bruce
a
Wayne.
suit.
No, he was never in the suit, but we did get a Bruce Wayne on Batwoman.
Yeah, but did we ever see the Bat?
Yeah, he never suited up. I mean,
Yeah,
they gave us a Bruce Wayne, but he never suited. Shit, we got a Batwing. I'll take that.
I mean, but it's just like DC embargoes or that oh you can't use these type of characters that really did hurt the Arrowverse because they had some really good storylines planned and they had to scrap the whole Suicide Squad for Arrow season 3.
Yeah.
And that's the season what we got because they were building up towards that Suicide Squad. They even got Tara Strong to voice Harley.
Yeah.
So I mean, like it was like
The
it was a
pandemic.
good like you said they did something the Avengers did for the movies. They
Yeah.
proved to people that you can have this this huge universe with, and for television is way
Yeah.
harder to do with movies.
Yeah.
Movies is just like, yo, you can't film at this time because of your contract. Television is they're filming nonstop. They had to literally, folks, they had to put these actors' schedules together,
Mhm.
cooperate with each other's shows and storylines to make this shit sync.
Yeah.
Like
Just,
that was like 5 shows,
yeah. Just for the
6 if
sake
you
of
count
having a
Black
show.
Lightning.
Yeah. Yeah. Like even and even that. Think about every Black Lightning cameo that we got where he interacts with the rest of the Arrowverse. And just remember, out of all the Arrowverse shows, his was the only one not shot in Canada.
Yeah, Atlanta.
They shot his show in Atlanta. So whenever you saw Black Lightning, like appreciate that shit, because to get his ass from Atlanta to Canada just to
Mm-hmm.
stand next to Supergirl and the Flash, like that's a big deal.
Yeah,
And
and not
kudos
to
to
mention,
Cress Williams, for
yeah,
for holding that down.
it's gonna feel weird, not
Yeah.
not
Next
tuning
Wednesday.
in. I'm not gonna
Yeah,
lie, it's
next
gonna feel
Wednesday.
weird. It is. It's gonna feel weird. Like Arrow's gone. Like they're all like all these shows are ending. It's like uh,
And even when the shows did when Arrow did end, when Black Lightning ended, when Supergirl ended, there was always that part of you that felt like, well, yeah, the show's over, but we still got Flash, we still got Legends of Tomorrow, we still got Batwoman, we got Naomi, we got Stargirl. Hey, we'll see these people again. I mean, hell, Jay Garrick popped up on Stargirl like in the final
yeah,
season. So it's like you always felt like shit, the show's over, but they can always come back because there were other platforms there for them to come back to. The platform's gone now. The Arrowverse and Agents of Shield re rebirthed superhero television.
yeah, hands down.
Like that, like those shows pumped life in it. Like they made superhero television like a thing to watch. And it was like you said, we will see what happens. So we will see
Yeah.
what happens. Let's pray that the fans make enough noise. They keep flying those banners over DC headquarters. Those hashtags save legend, save Batwoman. There's a hashtag save Batwoman. Hashtag on Twitter. That I follow. Or
Mm,
so I don't know. We'll see. At some point, somebody has to be like, listen, we're fools if we walk away from this shit. So
yeah.
we'll but let us know in the comment section what you guys think of the Arrowverse. What's your favorite Arrowverse show? Who are your favorite characters? And what did you like about the Flash? Like moments from the Flash that you like. To me, my favorite season of the Flash was the Nora season.
Mm,
The season when Nora came in, that has to be my favorite one. And because they pitched that the season before during the wedding,
yeah.
during the Nazi crossover. So there was a lot of like thinking that went on into that. And like I said, it's just like you said, it's gonna be weird when next Wednesday come. It's
It's
gonna be
weird.
weird.
Yeah, I
Like
mean, it felt weird when they moved to Wednesday instead of Tuesday because I was so used to Tuesdays. For me, to piggyback, it's for me. I'm gonna be the cliche Flash fan. It's gonna be season 1, man. Like season 1. I mean, and just because of the finale of season 1. Usually, I choose season 2
yeah,
because the Zoom season, but that last episode of season 1 has to be some of the best damn superhero television I've
yeah,
seen.
yeah.
Um, just so much emotion. And like I said, my favorite scene is the no, don't do it. And just to see that come full circle in season 9, I was like, that's where I got my satisfaction. I was like, okay, they finally now we know which Barry this is. He is that Barry. And I
Yeah.
was just like,
Oh.
that gave me chills. I was like, oh snap! So if it came full circle, so this is that Barry that stopped this Barry. I was like, okay, I'm satisfied. That's all I needed to know. That they finally, because remember I kept saying on other podcasts, I was
Yeah,
like, yo, this has to happen,
yeah, it
and
has
they
that.
did it.
You gotta pay that off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they did. So for me, it was definitely season 1. It's gonna feel weird, man. It's gonna feel weird because I'm so used to this Arrowverse and the
Mhm.
DC TV, and now it's
Yeah.
just like a wait
Nothing.
and see now.
Yeah, now, yeah. But I mean, we gotta hold on to what we got. We still gotta hold on because remember, Superman and Lois isn't over yet, and we still got Doom Patrol. I mean, for me, when I think about season 1, two things pop out of my mind in season 1. When I saw Iris for the first time, my legit thought was, "Damn."
Yeah.
And I was married at the time, so I couldn't even say that out loud. Like she was like, "What you damning about?" I was like, "Nah, this Flash is good." That was my thought when Iris first popped on the screen. But my favorite moment from season 1 had to have been when he time traveled for the first time.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
actually
that's a good
lost
one.
my shit when I lost my shit when he time traveled for the first time. Like when he ran and he was running next to himself, and when I was like, wait, did he just time travel? I was like, yo, this show is the greatest. Like this is the shit. Like that actually got me up. But I mean, every season's gonna have this moment. Like it's
Yeah.
highs and lows, and it's good and bad. But I mean, overall, it's like it was more good than bad because we wouldn't be here talking about it if it was bad.
No.
So I'm definitely going to, now that it's officially over, when I have a chance, there's gonna be a moment where I'm literally going to rewatch the entire Arrowverse from the beginning,
Mm.
like over again, because I know the chronological order that all this stuff goes in. Even
Oh,
even the Supergirl Flash crossover when when
when Barry
they were,
came, yeah.
yeah, when he put that thing on his chest and then he ran and disappeared, and then on Supergirl he showed up to catch her when she got knocked out the window by by Silver Banshee. So I know all that shit. So there's definitely going to be an Arrowverse rewatch in my future, and let's pray. It's either one of two things: either let's pray that James Gunn's universe is good, or let's pray
Mm-hmm.
that it fails and somebody's like, get the Arrowverse back up and running and get James and get Zack Snyder on the phone immediately.
All right, Greg Berlanti as well.
Yeah, get Greg Berlanti and Zack Snyder in here ASAP. So it's one of the two because I would like to see Naomi continue. I was actually getting into
or,
that,
or like always keep lobbying for him. Get Bruce Timm. I mean, the
yeah,
animated series people, like the
get
people
Bruce Timm.
behind the Justice League series, like
Oh,
Batman Beyond, because
yeah,
just translated into live action. I mean, the script is a script.
yeah.
So, you know,
Comic book is a script. Oh,
exactly.
Dwayne McDuffie got a shout out in the
Yeah.
episode. That was that was cool. So yeah, man, like it sucks. Like it sucks, but like I said, all we can do now is just wait and see what we get and hold on to what we still have until it's officially no more. So like I said, share your questions, comments, and or concerns down below. Hit the notification bell on Otago's and Geek on YouTube, on Imaginative Visions on YouTube, Red Eyes Entertainment on YouTube, even Gotham Geek Girl on YouTube. Check us out because we got a bunch of stuff in the pipeline. You guys got your Fast X review up on the channel. We got our Arrowverse conversation with you, me, and Sean. Check out the Flash review. And for the love of God, Superman and Lois is still here. So let's talk about that as well. So that was it, guys. So yeah, it's not the final time because like I said, I'll still be doing reviews and we'll see how Superman and Lois go. So check out my YouTube channel, check me out when we continue, to conclude Superman and Lois until the end. And like I said, we'll just keep rolling on until there's nothing left to roll. So that was it. So until next time, guys, Justin, we're out. And until we see you again, everybody, we will be back in a flash.